Well, hello, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your March the 4th just for today in a meditation. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's get into the meditation. It is entitled The Process. This program has become a part of me. I understand more clearly the things that are happening in my life today. I no longer fight the process. That's taken from the basic text, page 127. In active addiction, things happen seemingly without rhyme or reason. We just did things, often without knowing why or what the results would be. Life had little value or meaning. The 12-step process gives meaning to our lives. In working the steps, we come to accept both the dark and the bright sides of our lives. We strip away the denial that kept us from comprehending addiction's effect on us. We honestly examine ourselves, picking out the patterns in our thoughts, our behaviors, our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior. We gain humility and perspective by fully disclosing ourselves to another human being. In seeking to have our shortcomings removed, we develop a working appreciation for our own powerlessness and the strength provided by a power greater than we are. With our enhanced understanding of ourselves, we gain greater insight into and acceptance of others. The 12 steps are the key to a process we call life. In working the steps, they become a part of us, and we become a part of the life around us. Our world is no longer meaningless. We understand more about what happens in our lives today. We no longer fight the process. Today, in working the steps, we live it. Just for today, life is a process. The 12 steps are the key. Today, I will use the steps to participate in that process, understanding and enjoying myself in my recovery. That's a beautiful meditation, a little tongue-tied there, but it's still, it's powerful. Let's take a moment of silence and follow that up with the we version of the Serenity Prayer and unpack this together for a minute or so, okay? Moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Such a powerful, simple prayer that helps to put things in perspective. I love how this meditation walks you through step 1 up to 12 really quickly. And it allows us to understand that in active addiction, things would happen somewhat randomly, and we got used to living randomly. We didn't put a lot of importance or play into many of the situations because we knew that given our lifestyle is subject to change quickly and sometimes for the worse. And it was a dog eat dog world, and you had to be reactive as much as possible, able to go along quickly with whatever was happening so that you could ensure that you were front and center for the next one. And my use and my high was more important than your use and your high. And at the end of the road, I could care less if anyone cared about me, loved me, or wanted to see me. At least that's what I told myself, because it made using much easier. And then along comes Narcotics Anonymous. And with Narcotics Anonymous, here comes the conversation about a God of my own understanding, a higher power. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? Now I'm staying clean and you want me to talk about a relationship with God? The same God that I thought left me? Oh, not quite like that. You mean I can have one of my own understanding? One that I would rather have be loving and caring and non-punishing? You cannot sit there and tell me that Narcotics Anonymous has not given you the keys that you need to live a successful life. It's almost like the easiest way for me to compare it, because a lot of the self-made prisons we make, we also understand that there's a way out of the mess. But a lot of times the way out of the mess is not a key that we want to use. In other words, I stop using and I start doing step work. I start working on myself and I stop creating messes as I go. And then I get a chance to look at all of the wreckage of my past. And there's a process even with that that frees me up to be human again, to love again, to be forgiving to others and to receive forgiveness or not. But it's not going to stop me from living a fulfilling life if you don't forgive me. The best amends that I can make is a living amends. See, some of us don't want to take that key or the keys that are being given to us because they're not given to us in a sense that, well, they're given freely, right? They are given freely, but to use them is not free. It's going to take at least taking the key and putting it in the right door that's locked. Does that make sense? I have the tools, but I don't use them because I'm not using them as per the situation in which they need to be used. I haven't done enough research to figure out how to benefit from being entirely ready to have my character defects removed from me, because I'm still looking at them as these strategies or techniques that I use for my survival in that other world that I was in. And even though I'm not actively using, you can't really tell that there's not a drug in my system because I'm still behaving like I'm using. You have the keys in your own back pocket, and not only won't you pull them out and use them, if you do pull them out to try and use them, you're not sure how to use them. And that is why we need to keep coming back. And that is why we make meetings. And that is why we get a sponsor. And that is why we allow others to tell us how they did it. My name is Mighty Stream. I was going to give you an example, but that's a good example, self-made prisons. But I wanted to tell you about a time when I lived in Kenya. And I'm just, I'm there going to a Bible college. I'm teaching at the same Bible college. I graduate and I stay on for some extra time to continue to teach. And it seemed as though, even though I would go to church services, I was hungry for worship, in a sense, in English. They would sing them in Swahili. They would sing them in their mother tongue. They would sing them in French. But it wasn't until they would sing them in English that my heart would melt. Ah, at last, a language that I understand deeply. In Narcotics Anonymous, we're speaking your language. We understand you. We get you. The therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. That's because we are cut from the same cloth. We're addicts in recovery. And this is the best thing since sliced butter, if you ask me. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you. Hope you have a beautiful day on purpose. Talk to you soon.